Do you think it's racist to want to secure your border?
I'm Mexican. There's no way I'm racist.
I'm not very much a racist. I'm married to an Asian.
We should close the border.
You better make sure your kids can speak Spanish.
Come through the front door. Don't come in through my window or my back door.
To be a true American, just follow Jesus Christ.
So today I'm in the heart of the Texas border situation. What made you personally motivated to come down here?
Back when Trump was in office, it was catch and deport. Now that Biden come in, it's catch and release. And there's probably 12 million already. We have enough poor people as it is in this country. We don't need 12 million more poor people.
So what brought you here to the convoy and why aren't you inside?
We're here to preach the good news of Jesus Christ because we believe that anybody, no matter what kind of sin they're in, what God they've worshiped before, that Jesus Christ can save them.
What brought you guys here today?
Open borders. I mean, we live here in Texas and we see the effects that illegal crossings have done to Texas. The crime, rape, and they're changing the way of life.
What made you come out here to protest?
Just to get our voices heard, to see that there are people backing, wanting the border shut down.
And is this like a peaceful protest or is there anything planned for this?
I'm getting my hair cut, bro. Come on.
We experience day to day this invasion of the illegals. It is affecting us in every aspect. You go to gas up, they're approaching you, they want money. Some of them are violent and some are not. They're everywhere.
We should close the border. The amount of people that are coming over and getting welfare and money from the government.
What about the citizens of the United States? We got homeless vets.
When people come to this country, they can't just walk in here. Why is it right for those who are crossing here illegally come in front of those who are waiting? If they want to come here legally, wait like all the other ones.
I'm not saying forget about the immigrants, but you got to focus on your citizens first. What are their needs? Listen to your country. They're the ones that voted for you.
So are you guys considered, I guess, Christian nationalists, or what do you guys like exactly stand for?
I don't know what that means exactly. I just say we're Bible-believing Christians. This woman's, anyway, that woman's husband assaulted one of our guys over here. She's lying about us spitting on him.
Over there?
Yeah.
What exactly happened?
I think somebody was trying to park there and they were hitting their car. I do absolutely want to state that they're not a part of this event. We don't agree with how they approach, their belief in God and how they approach people. We feel that there's a better way to do it, a more peaceful way to do it.
So are you guys not allowed inside, or?
They're not a part of this, and that's why they're on the other side of the street.
Anyone that has hate in their heart does not need to be here.
So are you not going to let these people inside?
No.
Well, it's not we're not allowed inside. I believe they'd let us in there. It's just we have, we use a loudspeaker to speak the message, the best place we know where to do it.
And so just based on initial impressions, it seems that while many are united in the support of securing the border and also Trump, it's clear that labeling the entire group as far-right racist is not accurate. And with tensions higher than ever over the right to secure borders, I wanted to explore the nuance of the protesters' beliefs. But as a son of immigrants, was I putting myself in a dangerous situation? Or is this sort of conversation what's needed more than ever to avoid further tension between states and a potential civil war? I guess we'll see.
I've heard multiple articles say you guys are far-right extremists, Christian nationalists, and racists. Do you agree with that categorization of your group?
No, sir, I do not. These people do this. They go to all events. They go to all large events where there's large crowds of people and start screaming.
That is a far-right extremist group right there. How they are bashing on people.
Why is this your guys' approach?
We don't spread acceptance. We spread the love of God, which is to follow His commands.
They think all gays are bad. They think all Muslims are bad. Look, they're bashing Muslims. Okay? We're not bashing anybody.
What's been interesting is that, I've been talking to people in there as well, and they seem to want to make a distinction from you guys on this side.
Sure.
Why do you think that is?
Some people here we know believe that you could be a Christian without giving up all those sins and following Christ with your whole heart. But Jesus didn't say that.
Jesus said, love your neighbor as you would love yourself. Those people are gaslighting everybody.
I think kind of like the common thread that has been going on is labeling you guys as far-right extremists. Would you say you're any of that?
But there are far-right extremists, right? And there might be a couple here, but you have to take the bulk mass. The bulk mass of these people here just want to live their lives. 99% of America feels the same way. It's only that 1%, and that's the only people that get on the news are the 1%.
What are your guys' stance on illegal immigration?
We're 100% with that.
Okay, so that's where you find commonality with
We find supreme commonality with many people here. Trump voting and making sure the borders are secure. Even though we have commonalities, we still want to speak how people can be saved for eternity, all eternity. So
The Democrats, when they see a Republican conservative, they automatically label us as racist. I'm Mexican. There's no way I'm racist.
This is my wife. I'm not very much a racist. I'm married to an Asian.
We love God. I don't know what's crazy about that. We want freedom for everyone that's here legally. And if you're not legally here, then do something to make yourself legal. Basically, come through the front door. Don't come in through my window or my back door. You want to come in, you're welcome. But come in through the front door.
Everybody, I think, here is okay with immigration legally. We can handle some of it. What we can't handle is millions of people pouring over the border every year. New York's proof of that right now. They're having a huge problem with their immigrants. And they're paying them to be there, giving them free hotels and everything else.
Okay, so now I was really curious on why they felt so strongly against illegal immigration. So if we're gonna talk about America and consider its history, is it even a fair point?
If I had to play devil's advocate though, right? Isn't this like entire country essentially founded by illegal immigrants unless you're Native American? In that instance, wouldn't it be kind of hypocritical to then close the border now?
I think you also have to think about society nowadays though. You have to think about the economy today, the society, just how the government works nowadays. It's definitely changed from 1776.
Oh, I don't buy that. You know, that's every single country in the world. People migrated all over the world to find their home. A nation without laws and without borders is not a nation.
The United States is a nation of laws, of sovereignty. Just like any other country, if you try to come into Mexico, they will arrest you. You got to come in there the legal way. Every country has laws. Every country has borders. That's why they're called countries. We're not against immigration by far. I mean, we are a land of immigrants, but there's a legal way to do it. I'm a son of immigrants. I am. My dad, he did it the legal way. There was a process. He waited 2 years to get the process done, and then they gave him residency. Just don't cut in line. Do it the legal way, man.
We're not seeing a lot of Latinos and Mexicans coming over. We're seeing a lot of Chinese, African. I think they caught 2 terrorists earlier this month on the border. If that doesn't scare you and want the border shut down, then I don't know what to tell people.
We just heard 2 young ladies talk about what's happening in their own town, and it scares them that they can't even live here safely.
What happened?
An older lady that for illegals that entered into the house and brutally her, and they had to rush her all the way to San Antonio, but she actually ended up dying there.
Do you have any personal stories of how illegal immigrants have affected your life?
It affects both sides of the border. When all the illegal immigration comes through, all the Border Patrol agents, they got to go down there and start processing all these people. It takes a lot of resources, man.
But isn't that their job though?
It's their job to stop them, not to process them.
When they come across that border and Border Patrol processes them, they are signing their arrest warrant and they are signing away their rights to due process. And because they are doing that, how much longer before they do that to the American people?
And recent events show the growing tension. The US Border Patrol made almost 250,000 arrests on the Mexican border in December alone. And with Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, and 25 Republican governors all going against the Supreme Court and the Biden administration to take back the border, it's probably the most tense period the southern border has ever faced. But what I noticed at this protest is that it didn't really feel like a protest, but more so like a Trump rally or like a social gathering. So I was curious about that.
Clearly, it seems like you are in support of Trump. Do you think he's gonna even change anything if he becomes the president?
You don't think it did in the 4 years that he was
I'm just
there?
asking.
Well, oh, absolutely. He didn't have a chance to finish. He learned by his mistakes and some of the people that he was surrounded by. He's got to finish what he started.
Trump, all he was asking, just do it the legal way. Biden's doing it to where anybody can just come across. Biden doesn't care about the process. Trump did.
He's the only president in 70 years that never started a war. Trump wants us to live happy, healthy, prosperous lives.
I don't believe that babies should have their lives ended when their heart starts beating and they're able to feel. That's one of the specific things he's fought more than any other president. He loves the Bible, he said. So I find more commonality with him than I would say with Biden, who wants to kill babies. He wants to allow all kinds of things that are extremely evil.
And so, okay, is Biden truly to blame, or is this just people on the right putting him on the bad light? Well, when you do look at the numbers under Biden, it does seem like the facts support that the southern border has encountered more immigrants under Biden compared to Trump. Like, look at this graph here. Since Biden was sworn into presidency in 2021, the numbers here have gone up. And in just the last 3 months, there's been well over 500,000 immigrants trying to cross the border and getting apprehended. But when immigrants are risking life and death just to cross the border, it was important to consider why they would even do that in the first place.
What other ways does illegal immigrants coming in affect your life?
Maybe they want to come here for the reason that the U.S. is here for an opportunity, which is amazing because a lot of people come to this country for that reason. And the problem is that people get here and they realize, well, gosh, I wanted to work, but I don't have to because I'm going to get X amount of dollars every month. I'm going to get food stamps. I'm going to get Medicare. And they're going to ask me if I want to vote. How awesome is that?
The illegals are getting $5,000, $10,000, I heard, of our tax dollar. Is that right? That you work, that he works and I work, and through our taxes, they're getting money?
You can do anything you want as long as you work for it. If you want everything for free, it's not going to get you very far, and that's going to stop at some point.
So I think with that said then, if illegal immigrants are working, doesn't that kind of go along with those principles that you just laid out?
Yeah, it does, but at what level? They can't speak the language. How many jobs do you think they'll get without speaking the language?
I guess maybe more like manual labor, which is, you know, very important as well.
Oh, absolutely it is. But it's also going to take away jobs from laborers.
And so it's important to note that it's not just for work and opportunities that people come here, because the unfortunate truth for some immigrants is that it's for escape. Many come from some of the most dangerous countries in the world, like parts of Mexico, Haiti, Venezuela, and now even a growing number of Chinese migrants. And so although the case can be made, and I'm sure many can agree, that people should always enter legally rather than entering illegally, it's clear that it's not as easy as that. Because legal immigration is like winning the lottery, where today fewer than 1% of people are granted legal permanency. But at the same time, even though times have nearly doubled from roughly 3 years to 6 years for legal immigration, should illegal immigrants be able to skip these steps of due process? And it's a good question that I wanted to investigate further, so I decided to ask the other journalists that were covering the story at the protest. Because despite the numerous articles that talked about this group leading up to the event, and maybe I just didn't see them there, but it was interesting that there weren't many representatives of major news outlets that at least I didn't see. And just saying, we were there, and Tyler Oliveria too. One last thing that I did find interesting though is that there were definitely correspondents from foreign news outlets, such as China Global Television Network and the Bloomberg Dubai, like these two that I talked here.
What do you think about it so far? It's like someone who's reporting this as well.
I've been talking to other people and they've been concerned that this gathering here and this convoy might be violent. But from what I've seen so far, that is actually been more organized than everybody else expected.
I was not expecting a concert.
There you go. I mean, nobody was expecting a concert. Nobody was expecting them to just like gather in one point and just camp here.
The mainstream mindset of what this looks like is like, you know, a bunch of right-wing people who look a certain way. And actually coming here, I'm seeing that what they are portraying on the mainstream media is not actually what it is. So it's really beautiful to see that not everyone has to look the same way in order to share some different views. When I see someone who looks this way or that way, that doesn't necessarily mean that all of their beliefs stem from what is being shown in the mainstream media.
And so after all these conversations, I had a realization, and that I was learning way more talking to these people at the protest than just hearing about them over news. And so to get to the heart of this issue, I wanted to ask the most important question that I had going into this protest.
What do you think is being misrepresented by the media right now regarding this situation?
The people across the street being part of us?
What do the people across the street stand for?
I have no idea. Hate by their signs. They're what they want people to believe this is about, as far as I can tell. And if you get a picture from out there, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. The news media, that's all they're looking for, is that one idiot, either far left or far right. That's who they interview 99% of the time. And they're like, oh my God, they're racist, sexist, homophobic. All they want to do is kill people. And 99% of America meet in the middle. We want to have a civil outcome for this.
And so look, what is the solution? Because if we consider history, unless you're a Navajo or a Cherokee Native American, aren't we all immigrants, or at least a descendant of one? I mean, like myself, who's born here to parents who immigrated here legally. And so if that's the case, is it hypocritical to be strict on immigration?
Part of gaining perspective is just really being open. I mean, if you think about the history in our country, we have racism, sexism, genderism. So there's so many things that are keeping people separate. What makes me so unique is my viewpoint. What makes you unique is your viewpoint.
There is like a big gap and split in American society. It's all those factors, it's all those movements. Yeah. But I think that's what freedom is all about. If it wasn't for people that they can come and just like express their opinion, whatever it is, then it wouldn't be the land of freedom as it's been promised.
We're telling everybody, all faiths, all races, America is a melting pot. I would like for you to come here and feel the love of God.
With that said, at the same time, if more people are entering illegally and laws are ignored and resources are allocated while many Americans are struggling, what will happen if people feel that this social contract is actively being broken? Because tensions are rising not just by border states like Texas, who have now transported over 100,000 migrants to sanctuary cities like New York City, and people aren't happy there. There's rising tensions nationally, and Texas is now even going against federal border patrol. So in the next video, I'll be further investigating what's going on with the border crisis and the standoff. And so to see it, subscribe, because investigating the nuance is exactly the mission of exploring the unfamiliar. And so if you like that mission, sign up to our free weekly newsletter where we tackle the latest news stories to help you navigate these unfamiliar times. And if YouTube gets it right, then you'll like this video too.